These are sad days for us, as I'm sure they are for all those who learned about Dorothy Kilgallen's passing last Monday. Dorothy, Arlene, Bennett and I have been together on Sundays for the better part of 16 years. Kitty Carlisle and Steve Allen, who've been kind enough to come and give us moral support tonight, are also, in a way, members of the family. They very often have sat on the panel with us. We considered what we might do to express our sense of loss and to pay tribute to Dorothy in a special way. And in the end, we agreed with her good husband, Dick Colmar, that the best tribute to Dorothy would be to do What's My Line just as it was when she was here. That is what we will try to do.
Suppose stockings, the beautifully sheer stockings that look as good as they feel. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now here's the What's My Line panel. And their moderator, Mr. John Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. I'm sure everyone knows how we play the game, so may we now have our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Norma Walker. All right. Is it, Miss or Mrs. Walker?
Mrs. Walker.
Mrs. Walker, and where are you from, ma'am?
Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, Colorado.
Yes, sir.
Very nice to have you with us. Mrs. Walker, may I present the panel? And now, if you'll join me over here, please, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Walker is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mrs. Walker, may I take it for granted that you had nothing whatever to do with the blackout in the northeastern states on Monday?
Yes.
You weren't even here, probably.
No, I was not.
Do you perform your service in Colorado?
Yes, I do.
Is it a service that is done for men and women?
Yes, it is.
Do you come into any kind of physical contact with the people for whom you're performing the service?
No.
Not necessary contact to the performance of the service. This doesn't rule out the possibility that there might be handshakes or something like that, Bennett. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, Miss Walker, is what you do something that does pertain to the public?
Yes.
Are you in any sense a performer?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is your work more physical than mental?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Carlisle.
Do you perform your service, Mrs. Walker, in an office? Indoors?
Sometimes.
Are you sometimes outdoors?
Yes, I would say that it's the character of service which might require that some activity would take place occasionally outdoors, although I think we would agree that the bulk of the service, as it is rendered, is under some kind of shelter. Would that be fair, Mrs.
That
Walker?
is very fair.
Do the people who use your services feel better after they've seen you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, I think, is the real good answer to that.
Are they better mentally?
Well, we would have to agree that if they came for the service and having received it were very much satisfied with the service, there would be a sense of well-being. In that sense, yes.
Do you have to have a degree for what you do?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Walker, do you do your service for non-profit making organizations?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with either the ceremony of marriage or babies.
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you associated in any way with any of the armed services?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Have you anything to do with the law?
Sometimes.
Do you ever apprehend anyone?
No.
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do you have anything to do with the penal code in any way?
We would have to agree that overall, in the long, broad view of the responsibilities, yes, there is a relationship.
Do you ever have anything to do with courtrooms?
No.
No. 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Then we can rule out private eyes and detection, can we?
Yes.
But you do have some relationship with the law.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a degree to do what you're doing.
No.
Do you work for a judge or a lawyer?
No.
No, that's 9 down and 1 to go. Let me stress again that we said in the very broad view of the responsibilities, which are Mrs. Walker's, there could be certainly a relationship with the law, but in a very broad view. Miss Francis.
Do you use any equipment in your job other than yourself and a pencil?
No.
That's 10 down and no more to go, and I'm happy to introduce Mayor Norman Walker of Aurora, Colorado. Actually, Mrs. Walker is you're the first woman mayor
Yes.
of Aurora. It's 65,000 population, the 4th largest city in the state of Colorado. And you were elected last Tuesday, and the first thing that Mrs. Walker did was to reduce her salary.
Mrs. Walker, may I ask you what party you're affiliated with?
This was a nonpartisan election.
We have those too.
We have those in New
You're
York.
being evasive. What do you usually register as?
A Democrat.
Well, Bennett drove that to ground.
Mrs. Walker is so pretty, I'm sure everybody voted for her.
Thank you.
They
Not
should.
quite.
And thank you, Mrs. Walker, so soon after entering on such good and high office to coming to visit
Thank
us.
you very
It's
much.
very nice. We'll have another contestant in just a moment after this word.
What will you like most about sub-hose stockings? The way sub-hose look? The way they feel? The way they wear a long, long time? We think what you like the most is what sub-hose does for your ego. Sub-hose makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good. Sub-hose stockings. Great for your ego.
And now our second contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Jim Coane. Right, sir? Mr. Coane, where are you from?
West Islip, New York.
West Islip, New York.
Yes.
That's Long Island, is it?
Yes,
Ah, good. Way out on Long Island.
yes.
Quite a bit out on Long Island.
About 50 miles.
All right, Mr. Coane, may I present our panel, please? And now if you come over here and join me, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Coane is salaried and deals in a product. And we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Coane, is it a useful product?
Yes,
Is it a product I might use?
yes,
Might I ever take it indoors?
no,
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Has it any mechanical parts?
Yes.
Has it a motor?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do both men and women use your product?
Yes.
And is it something, it doesn't move at all? Am I right in assuming it doesn't move by itself?
That's right.
But I would use it outdoors.
Yes.
Is it have something to do with the land?
You mean something having to do with agriculture in
Right.
that sense of doing something definitive
I
to
know
the
you're going
to
to
the
say
land?
that's wrong.
That is exactly right. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Mr. Cohen, is it possible for somebody to get into your product?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Can one hold this product in one's hand?
No.
That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is it made in a factory?
Yes.
Is it made of metal?
Yes.
Does it do anything to other people?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Does it produce anything all by itself?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Sir.
My goodness, we're not getting anywhere. This product, may I borrow one of Steve's regular questions, is it larger than a bread box?
Yes.
It is larger than a bread box. Might it be found on the grounds of a private house?
Yes.
Now, you said no, you can't get into it, but is it possible to sit on it or lie on it?
It's been done.
But that is not the primary function of your product, is that
No.
correct?
That's correct.
Is the product made of, you said it was made of metal
Yes.
and had no moving parts in it?
We said
No.
it did have some
Some moving
moving
parts.
parts.
Is there any machinery of any kind in this product?
No.
That makes it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, if there's no machinery in it, do the parts move because you make them move?
Yes.
Would this be a part of an estate ever?
You mean, would it be something that if
That
you
would
had a
be
large
found
estate?
on an estate?
Mm-hmm, you might find it on an estate.
Is there anything protective about this product?
No.
No. 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Allen.
We have a conference.
You may have 30 seconons for a conference.
I wonder if this could ever be used in some form of athletics or exercise.
I'm glad that you're wondering that, Bennett. My own imagination.
Doesn't give you what it could.
Well, I'll try that lead. Has it anything to do with physical improvement?
Yes.
Just a moment.
Maybe it's heavy and you get exercise if you lift it up no matter what it is. Assuming you lift it up.
Now, when you actually, what Mr. Cohen has in mind here, because we want to be fair, is you ask the question on physical improvement in terms of improvement of an individual's physical well-being. Is that right?
I'm afraid I did, John.
Well, that makes it 10 down and no more to go. Now let me ask you a question. What is it that you think that they might sit on, but, it's rarely done, and it isn't the primary function of the product?
Ferris wheel.
No.
Oh, you have to.
What's the first you say? Something sitter. Now, what would be the next?
Babysitter.
No.
Something sitter.
Who said that?
Flagpole sitter? Somebody?
Flagpole. That's right.
Sitter.
Actually right.
You smiled at me when I said that, but it was a man up there on a flagpole who actually said it.
I thought it was a ventriloquist that you had working up there. Now, Mr. Cohen is Assistant Vice President of the American Flagpole Company. And among other flagpoles, the new CBS building's flagpole is one of theirs. United Nations Plaza flagpoles, and the flagpoles around the Washington Monument down in Washington, which is one of the lovely sights. And they are a little bit bigger than a bread box, and I think you'll agree that you can't hold one in your hand. Right? Thank you very much, Mr. Cohen. It's nice to have you with us. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message.
Should a single girl buy a Mustang? A 66 Mustang? Oh, well, let's see.
Mustangs, everything you could ask for on a secretary's salary. Check such features as bucket seats, 5-dial instrument panel, sporty steering wheel, and you may be Miss Mustang 66. But then add Ford's new stereosonic tape player with over 70 minutes of music, and all Paris is at your feet. Or match up a 3-speed cruise-o-matic drive with a lively 200 cubic inch 6, and you may be doing a 1.5 gainer at the Olympics.
Should a single girl buy a 66 Mustang? Wouldn't you?
Ask for a test drive on your next lunch hour and see.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as you all know, the panel is always blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, they are.
All right, will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in this case, a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Kitty Carlisle.
Are you in any form of the entertainment world?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Are you in a play that either has recently opened on Broadway or is going to in a short while? I hear nothing.
We're having a small conference. You all just hang on.
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, to get that question straight, it is
Then
not
it asks, are you in a play that has recently opened or is about to open? And the answer is no.
No. I see. Well, then, are you in a play that opened some time ago?
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Have you ever worked in motion pictures?
Yes.
Miss Carlisle.
I have a terrible feeling I recognize the voice. Could I take a guess?
Sure. Why not?
Is it Ginger Rogers?
No.
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
But do you, in the course of your labors, sing on the stage?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you celebrating an anniversary in your play?
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Are you a brunette? At the present time, that is.
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Carlisle.
Are you American?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Would the play be Love that you're in?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
How terrible. That's what I was thinking of. Is it a musical rather than a straight play?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you more of a leading lady than a comedian?
I would say yes. Yeah. Both areas are well within the compass of the fine talents of our guest, Miss Carlisle.
Have we seen you many times on Broadway?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Are you a star in the play that you're appearing in?
Yes.
Miss Francis.
I have to go down the list. Are you by any chance in, well, I'm going to take a chance at a name. Are you Martha Scott?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen.
Oh, dear. Have you ever appeared in a musical?
Have you ever appeared in a musical?
No.
8 down and 2 to go, Miss Carlisle.
Do you have any children? Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Are your children also in the theater?
Some?
Miss Francis.
Oh, I mean, could we have a conference?
You may
Somebody
have
just
15 seconds for a conference.
Who has children? Maureen O'Sullivan's not playing now.
Helen Hayes.
No, she's not playing now. Anybody? Any other thoughts?
Goodness.
Celebrating an anniversary, so it's been on a year at least. Oh, we're all so embarrassed.
Barefoot. Who's in barefoot in the car? Who's in barefoot?
No, that isn't it.
All right, conference time is up.
Whose turn is it?
It's my
Arlene.
turn.
What program is this?
Have you done much television? Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Have you ever had your own television series?
No.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do you have a child on the stage who is well known?
Yes.
Mr. Sir?
Take a chance, Kitty.
Say who you think it is. Danny Kaye?
It couldn't be. You say you do not sing. Couldn't be Judy Garland.
No.
I haven't the vaguest idea. I pass.
Well, I think I'll just flip the towel in for you because it's going to be great fun to tell you, particularly Arlene, that it's nice to be able to say hello to Maureen O'Sullivan.
That's what
Actually, Maureen is in
Maureen
it.
had left Never Too Late.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
I
The
knew
subject
it.
was roses on the
I was going to
on
say
the
the subject
stage.
is roses.
And Never Too Late at Radio City Music Hall in the movie. It's a rather unique position.
O'Sullivan's name. Did you?
No, I just said it couldn't be Maureen O'Sullivan. Give you a rough idea how much I know.
Because she's a friend of mine. You never recognize your friend.
Terrible.
Well, I must say, that's great fun, Maureen. We haven't fooled the panel that thoroughly for a long
Really?
time. Not to have them sit there and guess it and then not know they were
I
guessing
know,
it.
especially as I know.
All of them so well.
We're embarrassed.
Are you?
Good.
Good.
That's what we like.
That's what we're here for.
And thanks very much honey,
Thank
for
you
coming
very
to see us.
much.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
About all I can do at this juncture, panel, is give you A for effort, which I do, and we'll have another contestant after this word.
That is how this hockey game was won. Thank you and congratulations. And now back to Len Hall for the wrap-up. All yours, Ed. Right home, Jimmy?
Sure, Mr. Williams, thanks. What's the matter? You out of cigarettes?
Yeah.
Here, have one of mine.
I guess not, thanks. They're all tasting pretty dull lately.
Not these.
Cool, huh? I've been meaning to try them.
Your cigarette's not tasting cool enough till you come up to Cools. With rich tobacco's Cools white filter, extra coolness too. Taste extra coolness as you smoke. Let Cools come through for you.
Well, how about it? Yeah, these are okay.
You'll be smoking Cools all the time once you come up to Cool.
Come all the way up to Cool and taste the most refreshing coolness you can get in any cigarette. Smoke Cool, Filter Kings.
And now a final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Jean. Herschaft, right? All right. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Yes.
It's Miss Herschaft, and where are you from?
Center Ridge, New York.
Center Ridge, New York?
Center Ridge.
Center Ridge, New York. Nice to have you with us. Miss Herschaft, may I present the panel? And now would you be good enough to join me over here, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Shannon, we can tell you that Miss Herschaft is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin with Steve Allen.
Perhaps because I drove down from Sharon, Connecticut today, and because Center Ridge sounds rather rural, may I ask, is there anything rural about your work? Anything to do with farms or anything of that sort?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
Yes, I do.
And do people come to you for your services?
Yes.
Do you touch them at all?
Yes, I do.
Do you touch them above the waist?
Yes.
Also below the waist?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Sir.
Miss Hershoff, are your customers seated when you
they are.
deal with them?
Yes.
Do you do anything to their faces?
No. On occasion, yes.
What?
On
On
occasion,
occasion. Mhm.
You have nothing to do with barbering. I can skip barbering or manicuring, can I?
No, you may not. That's 3 down. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
You do indeed then do something to their heads, their hair.
Yes.
Are you what Bennett negated? Are you a barber?
Yes, that's right.
Well, doesn't... I never heard of a barber who didn't do something to people's faces.
Well, most people don't have that much hair on their face. No, actually, Bennett, we said sometimes, because the fact of the matter is that Miss Hershoft is a men's barber and doesn't do much shaving.
That's right.
It's mostly this stuff. You see, this is why in her case we could...
over the whole thing.
Yeah, hot towel would be. Yes, Steve.
These days, John, with so many of the young men wearing these long Beatles haircuts, she has to do something with their faces to get at their hair.
Steve has made a good point. Bennett, we owe you an apology. We shouldn't have said some, we should have said certainly. But this would never happen with Bennett's hair, you see, so it didn't come to mind. Well, Miss Hershoft works for Andre's Barbershop.
That's right.
In
Green Lawn,
Long Island, so that anybody who'd like to get a haircut, they know where to take themselves to get that haircut.
Are they still wearing the long haircuts?
Yes, they are.
Even the respectable people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it all over town. And thank
Right.
you very much,
Thank
ma'am.
you
Nice
very
to have
much.
you with us on What's
Thank
My
you.
Life. Now, until next week, good night, Arlene Francis.
Thank you, John. And I just want to say that in the more than 15 Sundays, 15 years of Sundays that we've spent together on this program, we have become not just associates, but a kind of family. And so it is not so much as a co-worker that we miss Dorothy, though certainly she was a game player that was better than almost all the rest of us. It is really as a family that we are saddened by her absence. Good night, Steve.
Good night, Arlene. The fact that we didn't get any of the first 3 contestants tonight, John, establishes, as Arlene has indicated, that even just purely as a game player, Dorothy is very dearly missed. But, of course, that's not a very important consideration. She's missed as a human being. The world knows her as a very brilliant woman, very quick-minded and very intelligent, the writer of a very fine newspaper column. But we all think it's more important that she was also a very fine wife and a very fine mother and a fine human being, and we miss her in those capacities. Good night, Kitty.
Tonight I'm sitting in Dorothy's seat, but no one could ever possibly take her place. Good night, Bennett.
Well, a lot of people knew Dorothy as a very tough game player. Others knew her as a tough newspaper woman. When she went out for a story, nothing could get in her way. But we got to know her as a human being, and a more lovable, softer, loyal person never lived. And we're going to miss her terribly. John?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line.